live with the news where you live. 8 News at 6 starts now.
Water is slowly starting to flow out of Richmond household faucets tonight. You're watching 8 News at 6. I'm Deanna Albritton.
I'm Eric Phillips. Henrico, Richmond, and part of Hanover, all under boil water advisories, some still without water even at this hour. Now, just in the past couple of hours, Richmond Mayor Danny Avula breaking down the numbers. He says a comfortable level for water distribution is for the reservoir to be at 10 feet. It's currently at 7 feet and has been since this morning. 5 pumps are in operation with 15 working filters.
We have live team coverage tonight. 8 News reporters Sarah Molina and Jamal Williams on standby with updates from the governor and more from Richmond's new mayor. Our coverage begins, though, with 8 News reporter Sierra Krug. Sierra, help us understand what is actually happening, because there's a lot of terminology being thrown around here.
Deanna, that is right. Our newsroom has heard from viewers emphasizing the disconnect between the confusing technical jargon coming from the city and what people like you and me are actually seeing happen in our homes. Let's start by differentiating between production restored versus water distribution. Yesterday, the city announced water production was restored at the impacted treatment facility around noon. This means necessary repairs were made to get us to the first step to getting things back to normal. But it does not mean water was successfully distributed to homes. And for most Richmonders at this point, that still hasn't happened. We'll be hearing a lot about bypass pumps, basins, and reservoirs this week. The city has contracted outside equipment to help. In order for water to make its way from the facility through the system and into your kitchens and bathrooms, the treatment plant's reservoir needs to be filled at least 10 feet high. As of our last update, it's at 7 feet. For reference, it's usually 18 feet high. That's why if you have any water flow, the pressure is probably still very low. Finally, conservation and the ongoing boil water advisory. Right now, about 69 million gallons per day are pumping through the city's system. The infrastructure has the capacity to pump about 130 million. Once the city is able to get more gallons of water pumping into the reservoir, your water pressure may go up. It's still important you continue to use as little water as possible so that the water level in the city's reservoir can remain high enough to continue distribution. You also need to remember, once you have free-flowing water, that water still has not been tested, so you need to boil it at least 3 minutes before using or consuming.